Okay, so today I'm going to show you a simple method to easily install herringbone tiles on any backsplash or floor. Where to start herringbone tiles and how to cut herringbone tiles. I'm installing these subway tiles here in the back of this niche, and you can use this method for your kitchen splashback, bathroom walls or a herringbone floor. It's all the same. This guide will make herringbone less daunting and a lot easier for anyone to do with the right knowledge and tools. And talking tools, a good tool to have for installing herringbone is a set square. It will make your life a lot easier when marking the angles, along with a tile cutter, tile nippers and an angle grinder. These are the basic tools I'd recommend for marking and cutting. So the first step is to center horizontal and vertical the area or wall you are tiling. For me, it's my niche here. In a bathroom, you'd do the same on your main feature wall, or in a kitchen, I'll do this between the cooker hood, as that's your main visual point to be centered. The method I'm going to show you today will not only give you symmetrical cuts left and right, it will also give you symmetrical cuts top and bottom, completely centered always. So stick around and I'll show you how easily it's done. What we want to do next is effectively make a cross on the wall from the center marks. You can use a laser for this or just draw it with level lines. I'll show you both ways here. So this is the cross from the centers, and now I'll just draw the level lines across the whole area. So I'm going to draw a box here to help with the layout theory. You don't have to do this, but it will help you understand the starting point. I'd advise watching this, then I'll show you a quicker, simpler way after, once you've got the theory of centering herringbone. So I make a box coming from my center lines. It doesn't matter what size, but I'd make it bigger than your tile and make sure it's accurate. For me here, I'm just going to make a 20 by 20 centimeter box. So I'll put 10 centimeters on the center point and mark 0 and 20 for the top and bottom, just like this. I put a few marks here just in case I couldn't fit my level in. You can just use 2 sets of marks and join them up with your level. So once joined up, you'll end up with a completely central, accurate box like this. And yours may be a lot bigger if it's on a bigger wall or tile, but it makes no difference, just as long as the box is central and accurate. As this is herringbone, we are working to 45-degree angles. So we can get them angles now from simply drawing 2 lines from corner to corner of the box like this. That's now the 45-degree angles running through this entire wall. Next, and this is where I still see a lot of people in videos going wrong, is they start from the point of the tile, but you need to always center the tile like this for a symmetrical herringbone pattern. Next, make sure this first tile is placed with a 45-degree line running through the center mark like this. This is the starting point of the pattern and where the first tile will be placed, which determines your whole pattern. Then you'll just continue off of this tile like this and you're away. You can rub out the level cross lines so they don't confuse you now. Only the 45-degree lines matter. So you can place and line up your first tile and draw around it. You could then just spread the back of the tile, stick that one, then spread the rest of the wall and work away from it. Right, hopefully now you've got the theory. Next I'm going to show you a quicker way. For me here, as this area is so small, I'm basically going to spread over all of them lines and spread the whole area. So I'm just going to use the cross on my laser level to help place the first tile. So making sure the laser is accurate on the center marks. You can see here I just need to draw a 45-degree line from the center point on my tile like this, which correlates with the horizontal laser line, and I can draw this with a set square like this. You can also do the other way too, so effectively you end up with a point or arrow shape. Then all you have to do is line this up with the laser's horizontal and vertical lines, and that's the first tile set of the pattern. This now allows me to spread the whole wall over the lines and just use the center cross from the laser. I hope that makes sense, guys. I just showed you drawing the box to hopefully help understand the theory, as angles can be a bit confusing. So in short, to get the center tile of the walls quickly: 1. Center your area horizontally and vertically. 2. Center the tile. 3. Draw 2 45-degree angles from the center line of the tile. 4. Just line them up with the cross. That will make your herringbone pattern centered top to bottom, side to side every time. If you want a different orientation, then center the whole tile with a cross in the center like this. Draw your 45-degree lines through the cross, then just place and match up with your cross lines on the wall like so. And that will give you a different herringbone layout, still centered the whole way around. Right, let's get into some tiling. So the tricky bit is the setting out, and now we've made that easy. From here, it's just making sure that first tile is placed on the correct marks. Then you can just start adding tiles to the pattern like this. I normally like to get a few on and then start straightening them up. If you feel like you're a bit wonky, you can just add the center mark to any of the tiles, as you can see me doing here, and just check your upright line runs through that mark. Then just move the tiles until you are happy. You can then just add your spacers here to help make sure everything is good and even. Now I'm happy it's straight, I can do some cutting. The side cuts will always be the same size with this pattern. You can mark the tile with a tape, or do what I do here and mark the back of the tile, flip it over and transfer your mark to the front. It seems weird at first, but once you get used used to it, it's a lot quicker. You're basically marking from the edge to the tile, allowing a joint. But I would always allow myself a good 5mm play when marking. Once you've got your mark, you can then use your square to draw the line of where you will be cutting. This will also save getting confused later when cutting the tile. This is a Sigma cutter here where the measuring bar goes 45 degrees. You can just mark the bar as a gauge to cut multiple cuts, then scribe through as usual to cut the tile. If you have a cutter that only has a straight bar, you can line the points up and scribe it on the angle. If you can't break it on the cutter's breaker, you can either use your hands or nippers to take the piece off once scribed. Alternatively, you can use your angle grinder to cut through the line. All the cuts should be roughly the same, so you can mark a gauge or use the same measurement and then cut a few off. If you are wrapping the tiles around the sides, keep the bit that comes off, as this will go onto the next wall like this, joining onto your corresponding tile. Then you would just continue the tiles away from here. I repeat the process on the left side, and you can see now that these cuts are symmetrical left and right. I add some spacers to help keep me aligned, then you'll see me remove them later once I'm happy. Then with the top and bottom cuts, I use the same methods to mark and cut them, setting a gauge mark on my cutter for any duplicate cuts to speed things up. Then after we filled all that in with a good clean up, we end up with something looking like this. By using this set out method, we've got symmetrical cuts top and bottom. You may think on this one, why does the left look slightly different to the right? It's just because I've centered from the finished trim and the left side hasn't been packed out yet. So once I add some 6mm board to the left wall, that will bring it out even with the right side. And once the inside is tiled, it will look like this. A really smart symmetrical herringbone backsplash. Like I say, you can use this method on any walls or floor. Just take these steps over to whatever you are doing. And if you like the way this trim is laid, you can click right here to watch my video on how I tiled around this window. Take care guys, I will catch you in the next one.